Here we are. Here it is, 2010, and starting a brand new year, and I'm just so happy to be back on video with all of you wonderful singers. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that has been on my mind for quite some time. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to conduct a workshop here in Corpus Christi with several of my students on the art of cabaret. Now, I have a few things I want to tell you about that. First of all, when I say cabaret, I'm not talking about come to the cabaret as in cabaret, Liza Minnelli. No, I'm talking about a specific kind of genre known as cabaret. There's country, there's jazz, there's Broadway, there's folk, there's rock and roll, there's blues, there's all kinds of different kinds of music. And each of them pertains to a specific kind of style of singing. Cabaret is a little different. It's a performance genre rather than a music genre, if you understand that. Do you understand that? I'm going to break it down for you. First of all, let's discover. Where's my notes? I need my notes. Okay. What is cabaret? When I say the art of cabaret, what is it? Well, it's a lot of different things. It's a club, a nightclub, a supper club, an intimate gathering where you and your audience are in close proximity with one another, so that when you sing, you look them in the eye and they look back at you. Hopefully, they look back at you. Okay. So it's a place. It's also a showcase for an individual performer to express themselves in a more intimate way. On the other hand, it can be a large concert stage, it can be a parlor, a living room. The actual parameters, the actual logistical space is not as important as the feeling of intimacy that is created by a cabaret performance. I've told you this a lot of times, but my sister and I went to see Tony Bennett a couple of years ago at the Majestic Theater in San Antonio. It's a nice theater. It's beautiful. I don't know how many it seats. I'm not good that way. It was a big place. It looked a little bit like the size of Radio City Music Hall. Maybe a little smaller than that. But there were balconies and box seats along the sides, you know, like where the elites sit. He walked out onto the stage with his arms extended, as if to hug everybody in the audience, and you instantly felt brought into his personal space. You know, it was gorgeous, just gorgeous. Anyway, so cabaret is a feeling of closeness, and it can be a concert by a single performer like Tony Bennett. He's the epitome of cabaret performing. Or it can be a musical review in which a number of performers take their turn on the stage for like 20 or 30 minutes. And if you ever watch PBS during fundraising time, they have a lot of those usually at fundraising. They have a lot of musical reviews, and review is spelled R-E-V-U-E. Okay? Comedy clubs fall into this category. You know, you turn on the Comedy Channel on a Friday night, and they have half-hour segments of different stand-up comics. They have their time, and when they're done, they get off, and another guy comes on. Okay? That's a cabaret type of performance in the comedy world. And it's what, when we say, I just want to perform, I want to sing, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about going to the local VFW and singing for their dance. Although that is not something that you wouldn't do, especially if you're paid, and I am. So I go to the American Legion Hall or the Shriners or the Parents Without Partners dance or a little restaurant that wants dinner music. It doesn't matter. If it's a gig and you're getting paid, you do it. Hopefully people are listening, but that's not why you're there. You're not there to showcase yourself when you do a gig, like a dance or a restaurant gig or a country club gig. That is not your purpose. Your purpose is to be part of the band that's providing music for their occasion. If it's a wedding, dinner music at the country club, the Parents Without Partners dance, somebody will come up and say, oh, can you sing Crazy? That's my favorite song. Sure, do the song. That's not what I'm talking about. This is the style of performing that is totally different than any other. And it is the most intimate and revealing genre of performance that is revealed. Okay? So, let's see what else I have to say about what it is. If you sing on the auditorium stage of your high school or college, in a choir at church, that is not what I'm talking about. Cabaret is where you connect with the audience on a very specific and emotional way. It moves you to communicate with them rather than being overly involved in the sound of your own voice. You understand that? Even though it's a showcase for just you, it's not about you. It's about them. Okay? And we'll get into that as we move along. And cabaret consists of not just singing, but of interacting with the audience through a pattern of singing and storytelling. Okay? And we're going to get into that too. So we're going to get into cabaret, the three components of cabaret. Okay? You need a theme. You need songs chosen to enhance and connect that theme throughout the time that you have allotted, 20 to 30 minutes. And you need the spoken words that connect all the songs together in that theme. Those are the three components of a cabaret act. And we're going to discuss those all individually. Okay? All right. So, let me see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to stop. This is Cabaret Part 1. I'm going to stop the taping. It's not tape, Chris. Okay, well. I'm going to be 70 tomorrow, and let me tell you, I have had all kinds of little messages in my head, some from the ego, some from that still small voice inside that tells me the truth. And I've thought, is this just an ego trip that I'm on? And I've decided that it is and it isn't. I really want to motivate and inspire you and teach you, and at the same time, I want to tell you what I know. And I guess that's a bit of an ego trip, isn't it? Okay, so it is. I'm admitting it. Now we're going to move on to Part 2.